You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Hi.
Hey, guys.
You're listening to another episode of I Just Took a Laxative,
Oh my God, tell me all about it.
starring me, Anatoly Mofskin again.
Oh my God, I love it. And starring me, the laxative.
And starring me, Mark Torriello, because we all know I have digestive issues.
Oh my
I'm always
God.
backed up like the Holland
know.
Tunnel.
Listen,
Tell us on Instagram, are you backed up too?
I love the
Nightmare.
fact that I'm like leaving my full-time job and can be as vulgar as I want now.
Oh
on
my
the
God,
show.
I love it. I am so happy for you because I know that was a thing. Understandably so, I might add.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy for you.
No holding back.
No
now.
holding back. We're going to let all the poop
Yeah.
flow.
Yep, just like taking
the
that
poopy
laxative.
jokes.
Oh my God, yes, Colace. Colace. Where's my goddamn Colace?
Yeah.
Girl interrupted.
Girl
Well,
interrupted.
Mark has some really hot shit on right now.
Oh my God, hot girl shit.
Me and Mark
So-
are, of course, still in our same clothes.
Yeah.
We film / record back-to-back episodes. We always wear the same clothes.
We do.
Mark always changes it up. So can you
He
tell
does.
us,
He's
Mark,
giving the children what they want.
Yeah,
I'm
can you
giving
tell us what you're
looks.
wearing tonight? Who you're wearing,
Yeah.
actually.
Thank you.
We're like Joan Rivers and
Who am I
Melissa.
wearing?
I feel like
So-
we're on The View.
Yeah, we're on the.
To commemorate today's topic, I wanted to dress thematically. So I'm wearing a beautiful piece by Rick Owens. I'm actually wearing it backwards because the back is metallic. So
I love the metallic.
I look like a high fashion baked potato.
You do, and I love
am
it.
living for this.
I love baked potatoes.
I said to Mark when he came out of the bedroom, I was like, "Are you taking us to space tonight?"
I know. He's like, I can't tell you.
He's not telling us.
I'm taking you somewhere though.
I know you are. Maybe to Area 51.
Perhaps. I've been wanting to cover this topic for a while. I was like, I need to wait for like a good time to, bring it. Because you know how in our show we'll do like something whimsical, something morbid, something obscure.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I never want it to go too heavy in one direction and not have that all-you-can-eat
course.
diversity.
Yeah.
One of our last episodes, Jen, you said that I like to take us way back in time.
And you're taking us in the future. Because
Well-
you did say, I remember you said, "Oh, one day I'm going to take you to the future."
Yeah, I think,
Are you taking us to the future?
I think so. Maybe.
As Mark chokes on his cocktail.
I might be taking us to the future. Before we talk about where we're going, what do you think the future is actually going to be like in 20 years from today?
20 years.
20
from
years.
today?
20 years from this moment in time,
Yes.
I think that Alexa is going to own all of us.
Yeah, I think we're going to discover that we have all actually signed over our property and beings and likeness to Alexa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that things are going to probably be just about same as it ever was.
Same as it ever
Same
was.
as it ever was. Same as it
Same
ever
as
was.
it ever was.
So-
Take you down the
Well, I think that in 20 years, there's going to be a lot of automation. I think everything is going to be not like Terminator, like run by robots, but I think there's going to be more robotic technology.
like the armadillo car.
Like the armadillo car.
Yeah, great episode.
Self-driving cars, grocery stores, they have like those robots now that like stack the shelves.
Yeah.
That's really creepy. I do not like
Yeah,
that.
I
I'm
know.
so uncomfortable.
Why
when
do they
I'm-
have googly eyes?
But to make
I
them
don't
likable.
understand.
What was that
Like
movie
them.
from like the late 80s, early 90s, Johnny Five?
Oh,
Remember that
I've
robot?
seen that. Yes.
Johnny Five Alive.
Wasn't there something recently, like, because Jeff Bezos owns Whole Foods, and now the first, like, automated Whole Foods has already come to, like, San Francisco or
And he's
something?
went to
really?
fucking space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Space cowboy.
there's going to be like a lot of
Space
that.
Bezos.
Yeah. Space Bezos.
That should be his new name.
I think there's also going to be more poverty too.
Oh,
to
yeah.
keep it dark. I think
my God. I feel
we're
like
fucked.
there's
We are
some
so
like
fucked.
really
Yeah.
dark days ahead of us.
Yeah.
our parents, like the boomer generation, our families have gone through some really dark shit, and like now I think it's our time.
I think the boomers fucked it up for us.
Yeah, of course they did.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh, my
guys.
parents know. My parents are boomers. They actually have a podcast called like the Sonic Boomers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, your generation ruined it for me.
You're only Mark.
Yeah. For this episode, I'm going to cover a destination that is long gone and forgotten, and something I'm really excited to talk about. You know, in the past, I've taken us to the Hotel of Doom. I've taken us to the Frank Lloyd Wright Taliesin Murder House.
You took us on the Titanic.
You took the Titanic.
You took us to the Great Molasses Flood in
I took-
Boston, Massachusetts.
Yep. And I even took us to a Tokyo vending machine dress.
Yes, you did. You've taken us all over the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Past,
corners.
present,
Yeah,
future.
he sure
All corners
has.
of the world. Today, geographically, I'm taking us primarily to Kissimmee, Florida, Wisconsin Dells in Wisconsin, and Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Oh, all places that I would not want to visit.
I
Sorry.
know, sorry.
Also, I'm taking us to the future, but by going back in time to 1979.
Is this like that movie with Brendan Fraser, Blast from the Past?
Maybe.
Remember that movie?
Or maybe it's the
Or
time machine.
that's the one where they come out of the fucking bomb shelter,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And they're like, "Hi, I'm the mother. Hi, I'm the father." And they think it's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yes. That movie was ridiculous. I used to watch it all the time.
That was a good movie.
Not going to a bomb shelter, but we are going to a place called Xanadu House. Have you guys ever heard
I mean,
of
I've
Xanadu
heard of
House?
Xanadu with Olivia Newton-John.
Xanadu. I've heard of the Xanadu House from Mark, but I don't
I've
know
never heard
much
of the
about
Xanadu
it.
House. I just heard of the movie. I just know the movie
Roller skates.
with roller skates
And
and
Olivia-
Olivia Newton-John.
Olivia Newton-John still has a husband that's missing, and no one knows what happened to
Really?
him. Yeah.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, yeah. He
I
like
didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Maybe he's in Xanadu House.
He might. Oh my God, she might have buried him there under it.
So do you want to know what Xanadu House is?
Hell yeah.
The Xanadu Houses was actually a series of 3 experimental homes designed by Roy Mason. These homes were designed to run off of computers and automation. This project began in 1979. These 3 homes were marketed as homes of the future.
Like the Jetsons.
Yes. Aside from these homes running off of computers, and might I add, 1980s computers,
Oh yeah.
they had really unusual construction methods and looked highly futuristic. You would think aliens lived there.
So cute.
Or like the Jetsons.
I love
Meet George Jetson
Na-na-na.
and little Elroy.
Well, it's funny you said that because look, there's like these 2 little children
Is that
inside.
E.T. in the background?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
love E.T.
Oh,
So,
they were
we're-
marketing.
I'm showing Jen a picture from Xanadu House. It's
Yeah.
like 2 children in
Oh
this
my
circular
God.
disc. 3 different versions of Xanadu House. They were built with polyurethane insulation foam instead of concrete. The benefit to that was just that it was fast, it was cost efficient, and it was an easy way of construction. But as a result, it kind of looks like this like blobby bubble.
Yeah. Looks like polyfoam.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also looks like a fun like playhouse for kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that would be like my fantasy as a kid to like
Oh yeah.
roll all over the place on that foam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hug E.T.
Oh my God. Oh, I would do so much to ET.
I know you would.
With that one finger that lights up.
Oh my! Don't
my
even get me
God.
started.
We've got another Anatoly in the house.
Even though these were designed as like conceptual homes, they were actually tourist attractions. So they weren't like real houses. Like no one lived in them. They weren't designed to sell. They were just designed to be like little tourist traps.
So like you would just kind of go in and visit and explore and like do your like was it kind of like Discovery Zone? Remember Discovery Zone?
Oh, girl, I loved Discovery
so like
Zone.
was it like a Discovery Zone?
It was, but not like a Chuck E. Cheese thing. It was more like educational and
Oh, like a Liberty Science Center.
yes, it
There
was
you
more
go.
like it was like an immersive experience.
Okay.
Oh, going
Yeah.
back to immersive experiences. High extreme kidnapping.
We used that term in one of our last episodes.
We did.
So horny.
This
It's
is
such a good one.
Most definitely like an immersive experience. On average, they would see between 100 to 1,000 people per day at $4 admission.
Wow.
Wow. Now, like, if you were to go to something like that, it'd be like fucking $50.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and they'd be like, you got 10 minutes. Hurry
Yeah,
up.
10 minutes
Get the
in and
fuck
out.
in.
Get the
and out.
fuck in and out. We're done with you.
These homes use a design philosophy called ergonomic, which is basically like fusing psychology into design products and principles and systems. And like the whole goal is to really reduce human error and increase productivity and safety. Just a little, web
That's
definition.
really interesting.
It's like an uncomfortable chair that's like meant to fix your posture.
Yeah, we have a few of those.
Yeah.
You have a lot of those in
We
this
do.
house.
Yeah, it's all we have,
Nothing
actually.
we own is comfortable.
No.
So to describe these homes, they were all around 4,000 square feet. They offer geodesic greenhouses. They had common areas like a living room. They had bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens. They even had a hot tub situated in this gym spa.
That, like, you could go in and use? Like, you could actually go in the hot tub?
Yeah. I mean, I would hope you could.
Now, were all three of these designed the same way? Like, if I was to go to the one in Wisconsin and then the one in Florida, would it be the same exact experience?
Basically, yeah. I mean,
a
there
good
might be
question.
slight variances in the design of the
Okay.
home, but ultimately
Mostly
it's
similar.
like, it's like a blobby polyfoam structure, computers inside. So hot.
Ooh, it kind of reminds me of the Teletubby house.
Yes.
I wonder if, like, the Teletubbies, like, they were inspired, like, the creators of Teletubbies were inspired by this because the interior also looks like the inside of the Teletubby house.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
can assure you that you're probably right. The outside structure consists of multiple domes,
That's really cool. I really like the architecture.
right? And it's like these like bubbles that create these clusters, and it just looks like a bunch of like
It looks
marshmallows.
like a greenhouse slash, like, it looks like a greenhouse met the Guggenheim
Yeah.
met, like, I don't know, the Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Teletubby.
What was really cool too is aside from the variations, one of these homes, and it was the one that was in Florida, it had this like tree-like structure in the center of the entire home.
Yeah, that tree is really cool.
Yeah, and
was it a real tree or was it?
no, it was fake.
Okay.
It was fake, and the branches of the tree supported the roof of the structure, but it also
It's really cool.
it was like utilized as like an air conditioning / heating system. And what they did is instead of a fireplace, they just put a analog television set in the spot, and it
really
played
cool.
a video of a flame.
I'm loving this.
I mean, we still have similar technology today on
Yeah.
the Tubi channel, I
I'm
think.
really loving this.
Right.
Pluto.
I just, like, I can't stop looking at these pictures.
I know.
Like, is this a staircase?
Yeah, it had like a spiral staircase that was
Wow.
built into it, and a lot of curved architecture. So yeah, I mean, these homes also had these unique design features, like they had octagonal entryways into random rooms, a curved spiral staircase. They even had green
love this.
floors that were kind of meant to look like astroturf.
That's so neat.
Yeah, it does look. Oh my god.
And due to like the curves and the lowness of the ceiling, it was just like not really like truly livable.
If you were above 4 feet tall, you
Yeah.
probably have an issue.
Yeah, highly conceptual. Aside from just like the look and design of it, there is a highly computerized component to this home. Over the years, technology was changing. Unfortunately, it changed too fast for Xanadu House to keep up with it.
Oh, no.
So we're going to go from 1979 to 1983. In 1983, the Kissimmee version opened up just 8 minutes away from Epcot on lakefront property next to a lake called Lake Cecilia. It was bigger than the other two Xanadu houses. It was something that everyone would have to pass by on the way to Epcot.
Oh, what clever
You know what?
positioning.
That would be the perfect attraction at Epcot.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Because
sounds
it's all
like it.
futuristic and like Epcot is more like the science futuristic space
Yeah.
part
So
of
it's
Disney.
probably good product placement on the developers
absolutely.
end of that house.
Smart marketing right
yeah,
there.
totally.
Well, it was funny because in like 2004, my parents and I, or maybe it was like 2001, it must have been 2001 because I had a Papa Roach shirt.
a Papa Roach.
My life in
This is my last resort.
We, I used to like Papa Roach, and I could still like sing that whole song, but I'm not gonna do that. Patreon content.
If you guys want to see that on Patreon, let us know.
We went to Orlando and we went to Epcot, and we went on like this ride, and this was 2001, and Epcot at the time was like so dated.
It was.
And they were like, on the ride, there was like this billboard, and it was like, we project that 1 in every 22 families will own a computer.
Wow.
Girl.
1 in every 22.
I mean, it was 2001, so I would say by then it was like probably like 8 out of every 10 households probably had a computer.
They just needed to update some of their info.
Yeah. They wanted to really like capitalize off of Epcot Center traffic, and you did have to pass it on the side of the highway. Fun little facts too. The kitchen was computerized, where it would prepare meals based off of the dietary/health needs of the residents. It would also call you out for overeating.
What
I
the
need
fuck?
that.
I need that.
that.
So I need that. Like,
The
I need
house
that in my
functions.
everyday life. I need someone to be like, you're overeating, but like
Yeah.
not a human, because I don't need somebody to like food
yeah.
shame me.
We
Like,
don't-
I need a robot.
Yeah,
I
we
need a
don't-
futuristic robot telling me,
Yes.
Jen, you're overeating.
Yeah, we don't need to be angry at a person, but a robot, that's fine.
Yeah.
One of the bedrooms also had a circular bed with sensors making the home aware of body functions. Based on that, the home would change the lighting to enhance your mood, temperatures.
This sounds like Bill Gates' house, doesn't it?
In like
Really?
a weird Teletubby universe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, may I ask a question?
Please, yeah, go for it.
So, did any of these features, like the bed that could sense your functions and maybe what you needed, were these things gags or did they actually work in that house?
They were gags.
Oh,
Okay.
motherfucker. Fuck this.
There's more
I'm just
to
kidding.
it. Yeah. That's why this is like, it's really good.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
loving this. I was just wondering.
But as you would walk through the house as like a tourist or what have you, you know, you could use the computers and you could communicate with the house's automation. I think for them, the end goal was to create a picture of the future
Yeah.
and an educational, immersive experience. In my opinion, I feel like the whole concept was the early version of Alexa. So this home would also apparently open and close windows on its own. It could water the grass on its own. There was even an electronic like host/hostess that played on the speakers and would communicate with you during your exploration of the Xanadu house.
It's like that Disney movie Smart House.
Never seen
That
it.
oh my god, what's her name who played Peg Bundy on fucking
Oh, Katie Seagal?
Yeah, she was the voice of Pat who like was the smart home.
Well, that's funny. Jen, you've been to this too, but the Bowie exhibit,
Yeah.
they like the headphones would switch when you would
switched
be.
when you would be in like a certain part of the exhibit.
Yeah. So a lot of these things exist now, which is
It
interesting.
was like the headphones were like it was like a sensor.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I went to Alcatraz and they had something
They
like
do.
that too.
I went to
Yeah.
Alcatraz and it was the same exact thing.
did hard time
Yeah.
at the.
I did some really hard time at Alcatraz.
They let you out after the tour was over.
They did. But that's really cool that like it was able to do these things like water the garden on its own.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind of like adapt to like whoever was in the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just like another thing about this house and the design is that they wanted every room to have a computer. And one of the architects coined this term, architronics, which is fusing architecture and electronics together. This is where it gets kind of weird and bizarre because it's happening right now. But they believe that one day schools would be obsolete and done virtually. They also believed
That's
that
eerie.
due to computers, people would be working from home.
Oh, wow. Way to go, Xanadu, predicting the future.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
these plastic homes were designed for that sort of lifestyle. And they also believed that building homes like this, where people are at home more often and working from home, you would not be driving as much and it would diminish traffic jams.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
So they had this like grand theory and philosophy in mind, and just a fun detail that I thought was really cool, and I'm paying homage to in my amazing outfit, is the employees wore navy colored space suit style clothing with metallic silver belts,
Oh.
high pop silver metallic
Are you sure
collars.
these weren't members of Heaven's Gate?
I know.
They
Kind
could
of.
have been.
They could have been.
And they also had shoulder plates that kind of flared out, like in the Jetsons.
Wow.
Elroy.
That is so neat.
Isn't that neat? But now we're going to talk about the end of Xanadu.
Xanadu don't.
Xana, don't
Xana
you?
didn't.
Xana didn't. Oh.
So by the year 2005, all three of these homes were gone. They were already obliterated. So they had a short lifespan. So sadly, the successes of the three Xanadu houses were incredibly short-lived. By the 90s, 2 out of the 3 homes were already demolished.
Oh.
The last standing Xanadu house was the one that was in Kissimmee, Florida. That closed in 1996 and stayed abandoned until 2005 when it was finally demolished.
Oh, Xanadu.
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 So the cost to run these homes was really high.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Year after year, it kind of became a joke where people stopped going, and it became very outdated
But I
very
would probably
quickly.
imagine
Yeah.
it was probably, especially the one in Florida, was probably a big competition. It was like with Epcot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest downfalls, and this goes back to your question, Mark, about, did these computerized things really work? The attraction was a fake facade of what the future could be.
Yeah.
So none of these high-tech showcase features actually were real. It was all make-believe. It was all for show.
Yeah.
To show you like, oh, this is what the future could be like.
Yeah.
But the house didn't clean itself. It didn't really monitor your diet.
Yeah.
It didn't count your calories. It was all conceptual.
Even though none of that stuff worked, and that was probably one of the big downfalls, what's interesting though, today, all of these things do exist, right? Apple Watch can monitor your heart rate.
And your steps.
And your steps and your fucking
exercise,
Fitbits.
Which, like, I do love mine, but.
Yeah, but that's the point, right? Like all of these things were supposed to enhance life in the future, essentially, which they are doing. You can control your blinds to go up at a certain time.
Right.
You can
So
set your
horny.
lights,
Yeah.
A 4-pack of smart plugs on Amazon for $15, honey. You can control your lights from your phone.
Wow.
Yeah. We love them.
Unfortunately, the tourists were highly disappointed.
Well, I would be
with their
too if I found
experience.
out that it really wasn't like telling me to stop eating.
Yeah. Well,
Same.
After the first 2 years, it was purchased. This house was purchased like so many times. It was, being mismanaged. And year after year, like I said, it was becoming more and more outdated. It became like a common debate of people in the area if they thought the house was cool or if they thought it was ugly. And I think it's absolutely exquisite.
It's so cool.
It is really cool. That's like, I feel like I would love to just like walk through and explore.
Yeah.
In 1994, the location in Florida, it was already open for 10 years. And it was
I love that staircase.
already 10 years outdated. To help bring in more money, they were like, oh, we're going to open up a gift shop and put in a jet ski business and
a jet ski
and offer
business.
people to jet ski on the lake. Well, none of that
And
happened.
taco
And got
stands.
eaten by an
Yeah.
alligator.
Oh my God, those alligators.
So-
Scary.
Yeah, none of these like grand ideas of getting a gift shop or a jet ski actually happened for Xanadu House. And what was once the home of the future now became an outdated home of the past. No renovations, nothing. It just kind of fell on its ass. The Xanadu House did stand abandoned for almost 10 years, going to ruin. From moisture, mold, hurricanes, the elements, vandals, and a lot of squatters also used it. Being
I would
abandoned.
want to squat in a Xanadu house.
I would too. After about 9 years, 10 years being abandoned, they got rid of it for condos. Before they knocked down the Xanadu house in Florida, a bunch of people that were like urban explorers came in with video cameras and explored everything days before the destruction of it. At the end, they encounter a squatter that is like, threatens them and is like, get out of my house.
Yeah,
This is my home.
Don't blame them. Get out.
And you can find that on YouTube. It's really fascinating and it's also sad because it's like the wreck of Xanadu House. This is where we get dark because there is murder.
Oh,
Of course.
murder
there's
at Xanadu House.
It's not a deep dive or anything. It's just like a random fact. But the two architects that were involved with constructing the Xanadu houses. The one ended up moving to Hawaii, where he built a home out of normal things.
He was like, I would like a regular house,
I
please.
need a normal house, please.
He was like,
And
I
thank
guess
you.
He was over like the polyfoam. The other one, Roy Mason, he was murdered in his home in 1996.
Oh.
Where his obituary mentions Xanadu as his greatest life achievement.
Oh my God, how sweet.
I know. His murder happened outside of Washington, D.C. in his home, where a man named Christopher Hattan killed Roy during a drug-induced rage, bludgeoning him to death with a hammer 25 times.
Oh.
His killer, Hatton, was sentenced to prison for only 14 years, which is like bullshit. Sadly, with Roy Mason, the architect that was murdered, a year before he had died, he lost his life partner, Brian Carneal, due to HIV.
Oh,
that's so sad.
It's sad. He had like a sad ending.
that's really sad.
Basically, that's the story of Xanadu House. What I truly find so fascinating about it is that it's an obscure moment that was too forward for its time, while simultaneously it was dating itself and getting stuck in the past.
Well, that's the thing too. If you think about it, you go back to like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and people's perception of what the future looked like was like so fucking out there. Like think of the Jetsons, or like even Back to the Future.
Yeah.
When Marty McFly like is in a fucking flying DeLorean.
Yeah, no, totally.
You know what I mean?
It's so true. And even like, furniture and things that are from like the space age 60s, 70s, like these items were designed with essentially what Xanadu had in mind. Like, this is what ultra modern furniture is going to look like in the future. And like, Mark and I have a dresser that's vintage. It's a space age piece.
I mean, come to Bizarre Buffet
Oh
headquarters.
yeah,
and
you'll see it all here.
You'll see it all, baby.
This table that we're sitting at, you actually can't see the chairs right now, but like this table is actually from like the space age-y. Like they had a very specific idea, whereas in certain settings it looks dated and old, and then in other settings, when you know how to incorporate it, it looks modern. Those ideas though, you don't look at it and think, oh yeah, this is what they're making in 2020, whatever.
What you mentioned with the past looking into the future, it's called retrofuturism.
Retrofuturism.
It's one of my favorite things. It's, a certain era's perception, what the aesthetics will be like in that future. And you see that translate really well in film. So if you look at, Metropolis from Fritz Lang from the 1920s, it's very Art Deco. There's a lot of like robot references. Have something like Space Odyssey 2001 from
Stanley Kubrick.
Which probably looks the most like
space age.
Yeah.
And there's like weird futuristic moments in that movie, and you're like,
like, I don't know.
Same even like with Clockwork Orange.
The chairs at the milk bar with the ladies upside down.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I found one on eBay for like 10 grand. Go fund us.
Yeah.
Go fund us for the
That's
chair.
like how much a wedding would cost.
If you watch like a movie that's like set in the future, it looks like an Apple MacBook commercial.
It does.
Everything is like that.
Yeah.
That's the story of Xanadu House. I think, Xanadu House is always going to intrigue me due to its look and obscurity. And sadly, as we move into the future, places like this are going to become more of a ghost of the future past.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
It's very true. Well, at the Bizarre Buffet headquarters, we keep all these things alive until we're dead, and then it gets cemented in here with us.
Yeah.
And
that was really good, Mark.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I loved it.
I love that you
was
took us
fantastic.
into the future.
Took us to the future, into the past.
Past, future, present,
Listen,
past.
It's like a mind fuck.
I kind of
it is.
foreshadowed it in the one of our last episodes.
Yeah, you did. You really did. That was fantastic.
That was really great, Mark.
Wow. Well, listen.
And you can see the videos on YouTube. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I've seen them a while ago, like the Urban X video, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to support our Xanadu House, you can do that by going on patreon.com/bizarrebuffet. You can also support our Xanadu House by following us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, bizarrebuffet.com, a website.
We are revamping that website.
We are. We're still in the process, but we're bringing you all new shit. Is there anything else I should add?
Streaming on all major platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon,
Stitcher,
You name
Luminary,
it, you name it.
iHeartRadio.
Follow us on Instagram. We're on YouTube, Bizarre
That's
Buffet.
right.
Totally
Take a look.
fine.
Take a look at our packages
Take
on
a look.
Patreon.
It's in a book.
It's in a book.
It's Bizarre
Birthday
Buffet.
bow.
Xanadu Rainbow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I suppose with that being said, my name is Xanadu House.
And I'm Tinky Winky the Teletubby.
I'm the Epcot dome that took everyone's thunder.
Xanadu.